welcome back to another video. I am Rodimus2099 and I'm back here reviewing something on my table with my light in the wrong position because it's broken, so that's why you see my shadows. I could try to review them with no lights, but that would get annoying. We'll dim it so that there's less of an intriguing shadow. I can make shadow puppets. No, no, no. Anyway, this is the Mandalorian Black Series figure, which I have loved the Black Series since it came out, and I love it even more now. You could say that that's just because I'm really loving Star Wars right now, because, one, The Mandalorian came out, it was so good, because they really did a good job with it. They didn't do a sort of cheap version. It was really good. And then we see all of really just, it's so well crafted and it feels like Star Wars. The Last Jedi didn't feel like Star Wars. Force Awakens felt like a reboot of Star Wars. It's all sort of blurring. This is really different. It sets its own tone. Feels very cowboy-ish, but then again, that is really Jon Favreau's good sticking, and he makes a lot of good cowboy movies. He made a movie called Cowboys vs. Aliens, which I love. That's probably one of my favorite movies ever. It's so funny. And actually, the CGI is really good. They spent a lot of money on that CGI. Plus, Daniel Craig's in it, Harrison Ford is in it. My God. So, we're not going to talk about the TV show today, but just watch it if you haven't already. I don't know what to say. I am maybe going to do a news episode on Saturday, because there's a lot of news in the realm of comics, in the realms of shows, stuff like that. DC is launching a new 5G initiative, which is really just going to fail, I think. I hate to be critical of this stuff. They're trying to make all their comics digital. That doesn't work. I'll talk more about it in a news coverage. But this is the Mandalorian Black Series figure. He is fantastic. Fantastic. He has nice hinges for his shoulders. He has a nice ball joint at the waist. He has ball joint, hinge, ball joint, swivel, double joint, hinge, swivel, that kind of stuff. So he comes with a gun, and his, of course, I think it's supposed to be a plasma rifle last time I checked, maybe. But they are simple weapons. He does not come with any extra pairs of hands, which really does disservice. I would like sort of a flat open palm. That way I could do sort of the, like him accepting bounties, sort of something like that. The cape is made out of an extremely, soft plastic. I mean, it just is very soft plasticky, which is really nice. I mean, that's probably the best thing yet. He has the ammo clips there, ammo there. He has some grenades, some ammo clips, and, yeah, he just looks freaking fantastic. Just incredibly done. And he does have nice little pouches, nice little armor plates, nice little dents and everywhere, and also has some rust on his head. I don't know if that's the best solution for him to have rust on his head. It just doesn't really look that great. Doesn't look too bad, but doesn't look that great. Should you buy him? Yes. And it does not matter which version you buy him, because he'll definitely come out with a repaint, recolor. The carbonite version, the sort of metallic one, is probably the best and most accurate to the actual TV show. But this one is the standard one. Still good. There's the first edition. There's that exclusive one. There's a lot of exclusives of him. It makes sense. When I was like, man, they're really hyping the Mandalorian. That's a little worrisome. I mean, not even the first episode has dropped. Now it makes sense why people try to steal the footage from the Mandalorian. If you don't know, that actually happened. People tried to steal footage before it came out of the Mandalorian. The raw footage, unedited, so there would be no blaster effects. It would just be sort of the guy, Pedro Pascal, in the Mandalorian suit, walking, stuff like that. You wouldn't see the cradle. I don't want to say what's in it, in case you haven't seen it. Go watch it. And that's all I have to really say. Yeah, he's a fantastic figure. I definitely think that if you want a Mandalorian figure, he's probably the best one that will come out of the market for America. I don't know if we're gonna get. I do know that I really think that SH Figure Arts has done great work with likenesses for figures. They should start moving more to the US because they've done the Dragon Ball figures for the US. And I hope that they would do a couple figures, maybe a Mandalorian. This is definitely the best figure that you'll find out right now. I'm sorry, he is just so much better than any other figure I've gotten recently. I got the Mace Windu, I got the Sith Trooper, I got an even more recent than that, like this weekend, I got the Deadshot figure from Mafex. And he is fantastic, but this guy is the guy that I played with most out of almost all of my figures. I've been doing late night photo sessions with him where I just kind of take him, put him, especially since I have a lot of construction going on. I have a lot of wood, which I just put blankets over and I make the desert look. I did make him fighting Batman. I might make that into a stop motion now because it was so cool. Because I was trying to think like how would he fight? He would try to shoot him. Batman would keep him close so that he couldn't really have time to shoot him. And I was like, oh my god, it's totally smart. He would pull out a batarang, stab Batman, and leave him for dead. So I might do that because that's kind of cool, especially since they're both kind of guys who they don't take off their mask, they don't let people know who they are, and also they're just genuinely cool. I don't like the fingers. The fingers, they look too skin colory to me. In the show, they're definitely much more burnt orange. But then again, the brown on him, armor pieces, are more maroon than anything in the show. So, maybe they definitely took some strides for this one. Definitely didn't want to make it that accurate, so that other people would go buy the Carbonite version. Buy whichever one you want. It's still the same base body, and, I mean, is there anything wrong with having two Mandalorians? You can have one on the DC shelf, one in the Marvel shelf, one in the Star Wars shelf. Actually, that's the one place where it would make sense. Have it in the Hot Toy shelf, have it in the Funko Pop shelf, have it wherever. And he's definitely the staple of my collection right now. He's just the figure that I love. Love. I definitely want to shoot some stop motions with him. Those will be coming out. I am still working on my Facebook account. It's really hard. Because, it's just genuinely hard. It's kind of hard. There's a lot of stuff going on that I gotta do. Because if you don't know, I got stuff going on. I'm taking double shifts at the store, comic book store. That's why I definitely want to talk about the 5G initiative by DC. And I got a minute, so I'll just mention it briefly. The 5G initiative is DC trying to make their own platform for just genuine comics. Here's why this doesn't work. See, a lot of fans, everyone's worried like, oh, comic book stores will be going out of business. I think that a couple will go out, but not everyone will. Because at the end of the day, if you're a fan, you know that digital ones aren't really the best. See, digital ones do something annoying that I don't like. They have ads. That's the only way DC will make money off these, if they provide ads. Now, comic books, yes, they do have ads, but they're only text, and they're not pop-ups, they're not click ones. They're not ones that force you to click on them. And I know some people are saying, like, hey, this might make them cheaper. A lot of fans won't care. Since I work at a comic book store, there's so many people in there. And the thing is, a lot of people are like, oh my god, comic book stores will go out. But a lot of comic book stores have something else. Like with Copa, it's mainly affecting child guys. There's still tons of channels that aren't for kids, that are grown ones, that swear a lot, that do stuff like that. I hate to tie it back to Copa, but I gotta. And just kind of doing that stuff sort of blends itself together. I definitely think that if you have to, if you just can't anymore deal with paper comics, definitely switching to the 5G service will work. The thing is, a lot of us remember, who are older, only 90s kids will understand this, the Napster thing happened. Basically, people were downloading music illegally, and they went after people, they did stuff, and then everyone started to download music. There's still plenty of stores that sell DVDs and records. Probably even more than there were originally. Because right now, a lot of people are like, hey, I like the sound of the record. Hey, CDs are cool. And I don't think comics will be that different. Because, I mean, Comixology didn't wipe out everyone, and that has a lot of comics on it. And I sometimes use that. But still, there's a lot of comics out there that I definitely don't think will be touched. If DC pulls away all their comics, then people will be like, fuck you, DC, Marvel still has them. If Marvel pulls away all their comics, they'll be like, well, fuck you both. We won't pay. Because those people who want paper versions, like me, I love paper versions of comics. If they buy them, they will just, if they totally take away that nostalgia. Whenever I open a comic book, I feel it, and I'm like, man, that pages are so crisp. And plus, I actually like to put comics in frames and hang them up, especially ones that have great artwork on it or great in general. I do that. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I'm definitely a little like, this could be bad. But again, the whole 5G thing is miles and miles away. They're trying to get it out now, but it just won't work. Sorry. You can't make the internet go faster than you want. I know a lot of people are like, we gotta think about 6G, we gotta think about 7G. And I'm like, dude, when has America forgot about just living in the past, just taking that time to sink in? That's what I'm gonna ask you. Do something that you haven't done in a while. If that's listen to records, listen to CDs, play the piano, do something like that. Just do something that you haven't done in a while, something that you feels fun. Just do that real quickly, just lie down. I don't know, do what you want. That's my homework for you. I'll come back tomorrow to check it. If you don't have it in, you get an E in the class. Just joking. You don't go to school. You're on YouTube all day. But tomorrow will be a review of Jojo Rabbit. That's all I gotta say for that. I will talk about the 5G initiative more when more stuff comes out. But right now, not too worried, because there are thousands of comics. If you take away one person, one domino, you could still try to squeeze everything in. It'll still work. Take away 2 dominoes. A little squished together, but still will work. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.